Hello, welcome to CSPN. I have here with me a few of our football analysts, CJ Gulino and Kevin Thomas, and I'm Sam Bloomquist. Let's get into it today. First off, a big surprise with the new NFL free agency is Richie Incognito has now found a team. What do you think about this, Kevin?
No, I think he's done as a football player. I think his career is over. He just checked into a mental institute, and I just think it's done.
CJ?
I don't know. It's a tough subject because he's definitely a talented football player. He can play. There's no question about that. But he brings a lot off the field issues. Like you said, he checked himself into a mental hospital. I don't know if I want to say his career's over. I'm not going to go out there and say that he's going to find a team this year also. I think he might need a year off, get his head straight, get back into football, and then we'll see what he could do.
Even then, Jonathan Martin even found his own team. Richie Incognito has a bad connotation with him ever since their incident when they were both playing for the Dolphins. So I find it pretty hard that Richie Incognito is not going to get a team this year, maybe even not next year. All right. And the next topic is Michael Vick visiting the New York Jets. Kevin?
Oh, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it will be good for Gino. I think he'll just tear him down.
I think this is a terrible move by the New York Jets. I don't know if they just don't think about what they're doing when they're having people visit the complex of the team, but Mike Vick would do tremendous damage to the Jets team. Not only would Geno Smith's confidence be absolutely torn apart, is he's not going to start there anyway. Geno Smith's the quarterback of the future for the Jets. He won 8 games with arguably the worst receiving corps in the NFL, and really a below-average running game as well. Mike Vick would come in there and he'd put Geno in another quarterback competition in the second year in the NFL, and that's just not good for his psyche, and I think that would be a terrible decision for the Jets.
I agree with you, CJ. Mike Vick would not be a good for the Jets because the Jets don't have a offense where they want the quarterback to be running as much as Vick does. And like you said, there's nobody other than like Jeremy Curley on their team. And I mean, they did pick up Eric Decker, but I feel like Geno Smith is more of a quarterback who can meet the needs of Eric Decker rather than Mike Vick is. And next topic is Cam Newton. Cam Newton recently overwent ankle surgery, and now he has a 4-month recovery period. And on top of that, all of his receivers, meaning Steve Smith, Ted Ginn, and Brandon LaFell, all just got traded to other teams. What are your thoughts on this, Kevin? How do you think Cam's going to be?
Oh, well, right now he just has Greg Olsen, so I think that's really bad for them. It's like they build Cam Newton up, and they just tear him back down.
I don't know if the front office wasn't thinking when they let all 3 of their top receivers go. Cam Newton's not only going to have no one to throw to unless they pick someone up in the draft, he's also going to be running around on a broken ankle. I mean, he's going to have 4 months to recover, which is going to put him right at the beginning of training camp, which is good for the Panthers. But it's not going to matter if he has no one to drop back and throw to. Greg Olsen can only do so much. When your tight end's your best receiver, it's not very good for the offense.
Yeah, and they don't have the running offense that can back all of that up. Half of it comes from Cam Newton himself, and if he's got a bum ankle, he's not going to be able to keep it up to par where the Panthers want to be with their offense. And next is the Ravens picking up all of these receivers. They've got Steve Smith from the Panthers, and now they still have Torrey Smith and everybody else that is already on their team. What do you think, Kevin?
I think they got a lot of weapons now. They have Jacoby Jones. Now they have Steve Smith and Torrey Smith. I think that's just big.
I think that's really going to help Joe Flacco out. I mean, he's already, in my opinion, a top-tier quarterback. He has a Super Bowl ring. He's getting top-tier money. Now with Jacoby Jones, Steve Smith, and Torrey Smith, he has countless numbers of weapons. They still have a great running game. I think this is going to give Flacco even more confidence than he already has.
I agree with you there. I think Joe Flacco is only an elite quarterback just because of all the weapons he has on offense. He's got Rice behind him in the running back, and then he can just huck it up in the air, and any 3 of his receivers are going to catch it. And now that they got Dennis Pitta back at tight end, that's going to be a big help for their offense as well. What do you think about Bridgewater's debut on Pro Day?
Well, he was struggling a lot, and I think it's just the nerves. I think he'll be fine in the NFL.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, his pro day wasn't too good. He didn't really impress a lot of people. I think the main thing is that he didn't show the X factor that quarterbacks need in order to lead a team in the NFL. My big bone to pick with Teddy Bridgewater is that he played at Louisville. I don't think he played a lot of big competition. As if it was up to me, I'd rather have a battle-tested quarterback like A.J. McCarron. Now, Teddy Bridgewater has a better arm, but A.J. McCarron can throw the ball just as far, and he's battle-tested playing the SEC, which is the best conference in football. I'm a little worried for Teddy Bridgewater, and I definitely do think his stock will drop from the pro day.
I don't think Bridgewater is going to be the type of quarterback who's going to come out and be the first-string quarterback right off the bat. He's going to take a 2 or 3 spot on somebody's roster, and he's going to have to work his way up the ranks rather than just starting out on top like a few of other prospects may happen this year.
I agree with you. I don't think that he should be the #1 quarterback, but I think where he's going to get drafted, he's going to be forced to be, and I think that's not going to work out for his favor. I could see a Jamarcus Russell situation happening where they throw him in the mix too early and he's just not ready mentally or physically for the NFL, and it's going to go downhill. I think Teddy Bridgewater does have a lot of potential to be a #1 quarterback in the NFL, just not right now.
I agree with you there. And pro day can only go to a certain extent of your quarterback's abilities. Watching enough film on them, see how they really are in a game day setting, is just as big of an impact as going to actual pro day.
Right. GMs and scouts really do focus their recruiting on game film rather than pro day. I think the pro day is for any last-minute questions on throwing ability on the run or your footwork in the pocket or stuff like that. I don't think that he showed very, very big improvements in that, but his game film is impressive, so we'll have to see.
All right, and we're going to wrap it up with some free agency talk on the NFL. Kevin, who do you think made the most moves of free agency that's going to improve their team?
Oh, I think Denver. They got Marcus Ware, Talib. I think that's really big for them. They really needed that. So
I think that's a good move as well. I think Denver's defense could definitely use some help. I think it's going to do wonders for them, giving Peyton Manning some more leeway on the offensive side. I also think that a really important move, maybe not the biggest move, but I think it's going to work out in the long run very well, is Hakeem Nicks to Indianapolis. Andrew Luck's shown what he could do last year. I think he's a tremendous talent, and now he's another huge weapon to throw to, where I think he's going to make big plays, especially in the red zone like he did with the Giants.
Going off of Denver, yes, they did lose Eric Decker, but they signed Emmanuel Sanders to pick that up, so Peyton Manning is going to be just as effective.
I don't think Emmanuel Sanders is Eric Decker, though, to be honest. I think Eric Decker is much more effective than Emmanuel Sanders. I think it's better than picking up no one in replacement for Eric Decker, but I don't know if Emmanuel Sanders will be as effective.
Well, I don't think he's going to be as effective, but Peyton Manning was basically made Eric Decker's career, in my opinion. And Eric Decker, and he could probably do the same thing for Emmanuel Sanders in the long run. So now that they've fixed their defense, they've got the same gunslinging offense that they had last season, which broke records across the board. So the Broncos are going to be the team to beat in the AFC. What do you think the Patriots are going to be like this year, Kevin? Now that they lost 2 of their big defenders, Brandon Spikes and Will Fork, and they picked up Darrelle Revis, and also receivers like Brandon LaFell, and they got Julian Edelman back. How do you think they're going to do?
Well, sad to say, as a Jets fan, I think it's big for them. This is really hard as Patriots, but I think they'll do better. So
I think that Brandon LaFell is a big pickup for Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady can make anybody look good. You put me out there, and Tom Brady's going to throw me the ball, and I'll probably look good as a receiver, and that's pretty hard to do. So I think he'll help Tom Brady out substantially, and I think that Darrelle Revis, obviously, everyone knows what he can do. He's the best cornerback in the league. He'll take out your #1 receiver no matter who you're playing. So I think it's going to be very hard to beat the Patriots in the AFC, I think.
Definitely. And now that Brandon Spikes went to Buffalo, there's going to be an even bigger rivalry there. So nobody in their division is going to be able to catch up to him. I know because I'm a Buffalo fan, the same thing for the Jets. It's going to be hard to beat the Patriots.
I'm surprised they let Brandon Spikes go so easily. They didn't really put up much of a fight. I know he was unhappy with what the Patriots are doing with his career, playing time-wise, and they weren't treating him right. He's a pretty talented football player. I was surprised Belichick and the Patriots organization didn't put up much of a fight.
Well, it was more of Brandon Spikes' decision. He did not like how they treated him, and they kept putting him on an IR, and he didn't really feel respected by the team. And that's also why Will Fork just asked to be released by himself. The Patriots didn't work with either of those players, and that's why they decided to walk.
That's interesting, though, because you never really hear that about the Patriots organization. They usually have great respect from all their players, and usually everyone wants to go play for Belichick. So it's interesting to see 2 relatively big names, especially Will Fork, leave. But on Spike's note, I think that he's going to help Buffalo's defense out tremendously.
Oh, absolutely. That's all we have for today, folks. I'm Sam Bloomquist, and this is CJ Gulino and Kevin Thomas. Thanks for watching.